Hey everyone, this is Sarah here. I'm just gonna wait and get to see if we have more viewers that can jump in with us right now. So just give me a quick second. I know we started right on the nose. All right, perfect. Just wanted to make sure that the live page was up and running. All right, so tonight I am going to show you how to make a coming soon page in WordPress. Now, while I'm doing this talking, I want you to go ahead and log into your WordPress right now so you can make some of these changes live. So some of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be using something called Inline Css. Now, for some of you, this sounds familiar. For many of you, this would be brand new. You don't need any coding experience to be able to follow along my webinar. In fact, if you have the ability to copy and paste, that is all you will need. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So if you go to saraheggers.com/live-webinar, which is probably where you are, you'll see down below it says the CSS code used. So this is exactly what we're going to be using. If you ever want to just grab the code, and in fact, that'd be something great to do right now, is if you just copy all of this, then you'll get ready to go. All right, so the first step is to log into WordPress. I want you to add a new page. And now something that I want you to look to is some of you, with your templates on WordPress, you have the ability to change types. So it's always going to be set to default, but you might be able to have different settings. So for example, my theme has full width, no title, sitemap, archives, blank. If you have full width, no title, or especially if you have blank, go ahead and use blank. If you have something that's called full width, go ahead and go for that as well. And now I want you to move over into the text section, and that's where you're going to take the code from here that you copied and pasted, and you are going to move it over here into the text section of your WordPress blog. Okay, so this is everything that you're going to see later. Now, I just want to break up some things for you so you understand some of the stuff that you just copied and pasted. So, number one, a div. What a div is it's saying this is a section. And so this says, I'm starting a section. This says, I'm ending a section. And then by putting a background image, you're saying, for the entirety of this section, I want this image here. And I want it to cover the whole size of that section. And the box shadow is a little trick I have as a web designer. That's how you create, if you were putting this up on Instagram, you would lower the brightness so that text on top stands out. This is what box shadow will do. If you ever want to change the opacity, so if you ever want to make it darker or brighter, you can just change it right here. Make it super dark. You can make it very light. Put it right in the middle. Width 100%, that's saying, hey, this background image should go across the entirety of the page. The height, I'm saying 800 pixels. Pixels is a measurement that web designers use. So for example, most sites 800px, that'll get generally the first look of the screen. That's about how high the screen will be. I chose to have the height here. You could put 100%, but I prefer to set heights. And then down here, this P style, I'm pretty sure many of you will recognize the P tag. That looks like this. That's the paragraph tag. And I'm saying, do you know what? I want to add my own styles to this. I'm saying, make the text color white. I want the font size to be rather large. EM is a web design term for your screen. So for example, it's flexible. So if you would increase your screen size, it responds with that. Or if you would decrease your screen size, it responds with that. Now, you don't have to use EMS. Your example will have that, but if you understand more, you could put in 84 pixels. That's really big. You might want to stick with something like 60 and go from there. Right now, for M. Text align means I want this text to be right in the middle. Padding top means I want you, so if this is the top right here, I want you to put 100 pixels of space before you have this happen. Line height. So a lot of you remember this, you had to double space your stuff when you were in school. So 100% line height means single space, 200% means double space, 300% means triple spaced, so on and so forth. Font family, Pacifico. I just picked a random Google font that we could use, and then that ends. And that is the text we arbitrarily have there. And then we have other text below it, same thing. This is the color of the text. This is the font size. I'm saying, please put this in the center. I want you to have 20 pixels of space from the top. I want you to have 15% to the right. So isn't that interesting? You can also use percentages. So percentage would say, here's the whole width, doesn't matter. I want you to go ahead and do 15% of this. So 15% of a very small screen is a lot. Like, sorry, 15% of a very large screen is a lot. So if I had a big laptop setup, huge screen, 15% would be a large chunk. Well, on a mobile, 15% would be very small. That's the wonderful part about percentages, is that they're flexible. If you wanted, you could set this to set number, but I chose for now percentage. And then here's the text that's going to be in that paragraph. Leave your email and we'll let you know when the site goes live, plus get a free gift from us. And then, that didn't copy over well. This is where you're going to begin your sign-up form, which I am going to show you later, because, oops, sorry, you will need to be able to get started and collect email addresses, because one of the most important things about coming soon landing pages is not only to inform people, yes, I have a website, I'm here, I'm coming soon, but also to grab people's emails so that you can start marketing to them, so that you can also let them know when you go live, because people aren't going to constantly go back to your site to figure out what's going on. You're going to need to be able to remind them. So this is the breakdown of all the code that you have here on the live page right below the video. So like I said, you're just going to copy this and paste it into the brand new page. Make sure that you change your templates. So you might have different template types. If you don't, just leave that blank for now. Sorry, blank is mine. I mean, leave it at default right now. Blank is very handy, but mine does that. It's really great for making your own landing pages. So one of the things that you can do right now is you could go over into preview, and you could see what you have going on. So I chose a bike photo, and it looks like some of my text was not appearing, so I am going to investigate. Actually, let me just start fresh from here and go here. Now, some of you are going to have this problem when you copy and paste. See what these quotation marks look like? They're stylized. You actually need to replace all of your quotation marks to make sure that they all work, because quotation marks are super important when it comes to inline CSS. And some of you are wondering, hey Sarah, what is Inline CSS? You said you're going to tell me all about it. Inline CSS is basically creating a style guide inside your HTML. So traditionally, your website is made up of two parts. And if you imagine your website as a house, it'll go like this. The structural elements, so the foundation, you're putting up the walls, you're putting on the ceiling and the roof, those structural elements are HTML. That's what usually goes into this text section. And then you have a separate style sheet that is the CSS. Now that would be you painting the walls, picking the backsplash of a kitchen. That would be you figure out what kind of flooring you'd want throughout the house. CSS is the interior designer of websites. It doesn't do the structure, it does the design. While HTML will say, hey, this is a paragraph, use the p tag. CSS, and in this case inline, which means it's here instead of the CSS style sheet, is saying these are all the attributes. I want the text to be white. I want the text to be this large. I want it to show up in the center. I want it to have some space around it. This is exactly what inline CSS is. And you can do a lot with inline CSS, all without having to hire a web designer. You just need to be adventurous and to totally go for it. All right, so here we go, Sage and Rosemary Flower Studio. Leave your email and we'll let you know when the site goes live, plus get a free gift from us. And then down here you see we're gonna be putting in a mailing form. Now one of the things that I want you to do, if you are following along, is I want you to pick out an image to replace this right here. To see how it says background image URL, then it has a URL. So if I would copy and paste, open up a new tab here, this is the image that would be in the background. Let me go back here, hit preview. So right now, this is a beginning of a landing page for a flower studio. Now I want you to go and pick out something that you want to be behind your landing page. So one of the things is, I really dug this bike, and so I was thinking about using this. One of my favorite resources is Unsplash. So unsplash.com up here, and I searched for office, and I actually got that cool bike. Go here, if you want flowers, you can search for that. This is a website of free images. You don't need to add any credits, and they're high quality and they're high res, so they're perfect for web design. So go through here, find an image that you'd like to use. So let's say you really love this. You're going to go over here, click the download button. Then you can right click, or if you're on a Mac like me, control click. You're going to copy the image address. Now I want you to go back over here. Remember the URL right here? And then just hit paste. Now I am going to delete just some of this, just because I don't need it. It'll work if it's there too, but I just wanted to shorten it up. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit the preview button and see what it looks like. Now that looks pretty cute. I feel that this background might be a little bit too dark. So if I want to change that, I can go into here. Remember, the box shadow is what decides how dark it is. So let's go ahead, make this number smaller, see what it looks like with a smaller shadow. Okay, there we go. So basically the box shadow is a trick to change brightness filters. So that's pretty good. Now, a lot of you will not have the Pacifico font family. That's something that you can add in if you ever want to do a Google Fonts hack. you can go ahead and go to a previous blog post. I'll show you at the end how to do that. So if you do not have this font installed on your blog, you can go ahead and just take this section out. So you'd be taking out font family all the way to that colon there. And then let's save draft since we're halfway through. Then hit preview again. Marvelous, marvelous. And you say, okay, I really dig this. Maybe I want to have this be italicized. Now remember, there also is the visual section of your tab. It will show up here. So if you feel more comfortable after everything's set up of working in here, you can. So for example, let's say you want to make this italics. You can do so. It looks like when we did that, it got rid of our beautiful styles. It overrid them. So let's see if it did for sure or if it just did in that previous section. Nope, okay, good. We're still good here. So now it's emphasized, now it's italicized, and I think that looks nicer. But what if I say, do you know what, I want this to look a little bit bigger? You could come back over here, change this to 4.5, hit preview, go into your new window. Okay, I like it. Well, I think I could also do with this being bold as well. So let's see what it looks like, both italicized and bold. Okay, there we go. That looks nice over the background image. Now change the text down here to whatever you'd like it to be. So right now I just put in generic text of leave your email and we'll let you know when the site goes live. Plus get a free gift from us. It's usually nice to have an incentive. So let's say this is beautiful, this is all you need, you're all set. Now remember, I'm just doing this quick run through on the webinar. You can go ahead and take all the time you want after the webinar to change fonts, to change the colors, and all of that you can do within your visual editor. So if you want to change the text colors, actually, if you want to change the text colors, you should really do it right here. That's the best way to do it. But if you wanted to do it in the visual editor, you could too. My advice would be then is to just take up this section right there. Just hit delete. If you're saying, do you know what? I'm going to pick my own color, Sarah. Let's get rid of the P style color white. Okay. Here is the part that I'm sure a lot of you want to know. How in the world do you put a sign-up form in here? So some of you might have built-in plugins, but I'm going off of the assumption that not everyone does. And if you see right here, I have begin mailing sign-up form. So just delete that chunk. So there's a couple ways to do this. And I'm going to pop over. First off, if you have MailChimp, MailChimp will give you a bunch of MailChimp code. You'll just want to copy and paste it right here, and that's how it'll show up. You just paste it right in the text file, hit publish, you're ready to go. If you use ConvertKit, same thing, there's an embed. You can embed raw HTML, or you can embed JavaScript. Either way, it's all going into the same space. The perk of, if you're like me, a web designer, I can make more changes this way, like style changes. But let's go back over. Let's just grab the JavaScript. I'm going to copy that. And I am going to hit paste. Now if we go into preview, go back over to this page. Ta-da! Oh, but look, it seems that my image isn't long enough. So what are you going to do? Well, I know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to go back over to the edit page. You're going to say, okay, what decides the height of this section? Remember, a div, D-I-V, just really means section. So let's search through here. Aha, height, 800 px. Well, what if I turn this into 1,000 px? Now let's see how it looks. Ah, that looks a lot better. Maybe there's too much at the bottom. We can go back over here, move the height to 900, hit preview. Okay, that looks pretty good. And if you're in ConvertKit, if you want to make any of these changes, all you do is go into the content, and then you can make all of your style changes here. For example, we have like sort of a black and white function. You might want more of a gray color. Oops. Button color, accent color, text color. I did not save that. I want more of a gray. There we go. But you don't have to do anything, because when you save it here, so I'm going to hit save. And you can refresh your preview page. Ta-da! It'll show up the right colors here. There's a similar concept with MailChimp as well, but that's it. Like I literally showed you 20 minutes how to put together a coming soon page. So now remember, like you have the basic template that I gave you, and you can have this page, and you can set it to be your primary page too. So that's what I'm going to show you after I hit publish. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hit publish because I'm saying, do you know what? This looks pretty great. This is what I want people to land on when they come to my blog. And you're away. Now, if you need to make this your primary page, so for example, if you're not making this, you know, your URL, in my case, like saraheggers.com/a product name, if it's not a coming soon for that, but it's a coming soon for your website, you want to make sure that it's listed as your home page. And so you can do that in your settings. And you can say, so remember, this is WordPress, settings, reading settings. And some of you might have it set to your latest post. Some of you might already have a static page. If you're wondering if you should have a static page, you should totally check out Krista Ray's blog. She has a great blog post about why static pages, welcome pages are awesome. So what you do is you'd say front page, you'd find the page that you just created, you'd say coming soon, you'd make sure that your post page is set to blogs, then you just go down and you hit save changes, and then you're all set. You will now be having everyone see that coming soon page when they go to the main part of your URL. All right, that was the quick and easy part of the webinar. I'm just going to go back one more time and review everything with you. So I'm going to go back into my pages. I'm going to edit coming soon. Just want to go over everything one more time so you guys can make these changes yourself. So first thing, div, that's a section. This says start the section. This says end the section. This right here says I want a background image. And this is where the image is, right here. If you have your own image, you can also upload it by going into your media library, uploading it, grabbing the URL, pasting it here. Like I said, I enjoy Unsplash because it's high quality image. I'll never worry about low resolution. This right here says I want you to have the image cover the entirety of the background. This right here says, please make this darker so that my white text can appear on top. If you need to change how dark it gets, you just change the number right here in front of the decimal point. It says, I want this div, I want this section to be 100% of the screen width. This says, I want it to be a specific height. I want it to be 900 pixels high. Now this is a paragraph tag. That's what you use when you are writing. And this is saying, I want to make sure any text here is white. I want the text to be this big. I want the text to be in the center. I want there to be spacing on the top. I want there to be spacing between the lines. So this is saying, please make this be double spaced. This is saying text color white. Font size a little smaller, but still pretty big. Also centered. A little bit of padding on top, but not a lot. This time in particular, I want this to be super centered, so I'm making there be padding on the side. So instead of picking a center right here, and then allowing the text to go across, I'm saying, put imaginary airspace on the right and left sides so my text can't go there. And then this right here is my script for a ConvertKit form. You can also copy and paste your MailChimp or any other provider form right there, and you are all set. Now, some of you will still have a header on here. So for example, if you just have a full width option, let me show you what it'll look like. It'll just be like that for you. And let me hit update. And hit preview changes. If you just hit full width, you'll still show all of your menu bars and anything else you have above. It might even show the page, and then I'll come down here into the landing page. And I'll also show your footer as well. Now that's perfectly fine. If you have a huge hero image, that's what they call large images on top, like mine, you probably want to pick a template style that doesn't have that. If you don't have that, that's fine. Go ahead and use what you have to be able to create a gorgeous coming soon page. So let me change this back to my blank, which means don't have anything on it. That's what it means, update. Because I want this to just be a pure landing page. I don't want them to get distracted. I want them to come there, know that I'm opening a flower studio called Sage and Rosemary, and that they should give me their email address. Now, obviously, I grabbed the form from today's webinar. You'll want to go ahead and make sure this text matches what you want. But that's it. It was so easy. It's only been a half hour. I'm going to be wrapping this up soon, but I just wanted to show you guys how easy it is to just use a little bit of code to make some pretty beautiful things. So if you want to learn more about this, if you want to know more about divs, inline styles, or even style sheets, I want you to know that I have something specifically made for you guys. It's called the HTML and CSS Crash Course for Creative Bloggers, where you're going to make simple and engaging design changes in your posts, pages, novel design, all within your blog's built-in editors. And what I mean by that with the built-in editors is this right here. You're not going to be having to deal with your style sheets, an FTP server, basically everything that I do as a web designer. I'm going to give you everything that you need to build something right inside a poster page, which PS, if you want to copy and paste this, all of this right here will work inside a post as well. So keep this handy. You might want to make some beautiful header images for your post, because remember that this is a div, but it has a definitive end. You can choose to write, let me get this going here. See, it carried over my white colors. You can write whatever you want below this div. Isn't that cool? So if you wanted You didn't have to make it 900 pixels. But if you wanted to start making images without having to use a resource like Canva or Pixlr to make the image the right size, or you wanted to make gorgeous overlaps, you can all do that by using the simple thing called div and inline CSS. All right, so you're going to be learning about that in this course. And I built it because I had a lot of people tell me, I wish I knew a little bit of code, so I didn't have to keep hiring a web designer all the time. Like if someone just showed me how to do this, I know I could do it. So this course was made for you to show you the ropes so you can do it yourself. You're going to create visually engaging blog posts your readers will love, and you're going to quickly and easily make amazing landing pages for your products and services. As you see, we're only 31 minutes into this, and you're already done. Like, I will give you code examples in this course that you can copy and paste. Like, it'll be so easy for you to make your own landing pages. And the reason it says a big $1,200 value is because you're going to learn how to make a coming soon page, just like the one you made. And you're going to also learn how to build a landing page. You could have hired a designer, and depending on the designer, they would have charged $600 per landing page. You literally are saving yourself $1,200. And I'm not kidding when I say I'm literally putting myself out of a job by teaching you guys this, because I know some of you maybe totally would have hired me, and now you kind of don't need to until you need something big. So here's the big deal. The course is eventually going to be at $129, unless you want to grab a BFF. So if two people sign up at the same time, it's $150 for both of you. So it actually only be $75 for each. But right now, and until June 19th, it's going to be $49. You're going to learn the code and design behind blogging. Like I said, you're going to get those code cheat sheets. You're going to really understand web design. If you really want to dig more into this, there's a link below on the page. And there's something that I really want you to see. Tons of this stuff is on free previews. So I want you to, at the very least, even if you're not going to buy this course, learn a little bit of fun stuff about web design and watch all of these previews. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you can enroll in this course. It's going to be up for forever, but the thing is, the price will not last at $49 forever. It goes only until June 18th, and then it's going to go up into the course price that is really, man, I'm just basically saying, okay, 1/10 of the stuff that you're like, that I'm not going to make anymore. I'm not going to make $1,200. No one's going to be hiring me for these landing pages. Okay, so that's about a good price. So go ahead, get it for $49. That's one of the perks of being the first people into the course. And so that's it. If you're super interested in learning more, at the very least, go to the page, scroll all the way down, and watch all of these free preview videos and start to learn more about the simple code you can use to start making your stuff look amazing. All right, so that's it. I hope you guys are having a good time. Now you're going to see me again. Hello. And I just wanted to say thank you for popping in. If you have questions, you can email me, sarah@saraheggers.com. So if you watched this and said, I was totally lost, I need you to walk me through this, I totally will walk you through this. If you have any questions about implementing this someplace else or one of the changes, still go ahead and email me. I am here to help you. Now you are all free. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you again. I'm going to put on another webinar soon about creating a landing page. Have a good night, everyone.